command, responsibility. I expect you'll be quite pleased. Precisely. And let's not forget eliminating the terror. I'm simply requesting one. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlez's role. All I ask is that you confirm. After all, just think about the...
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Perfect timing. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acetylene.
Means either plan should work for clearing.
And we even think we could program the microbe to disable Heat Leech's ability to transform.
So, we'd all be safe from any more surprise attacks via the Lazarus plan.
I've already sent along a summary of all the... So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Orlez? Reginald Orlez? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him? Oh yeah. Both worked for UC Defense Research way back when. Different departments, but everyone knew Orlez. Had a mean eye for weapons tech. And a meaner temper. Wasn't exactly a surprise when he flew, but finding out he's taken up mass murder in the years since. Didn't say that. Just surprised to find out my former colleague is now dropping ill. Just want to make sure we've got the right man.
If he is responsible, let us...
That's some impressive work. So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlez now? Were you able to bring him in? Oh, Captain, well, at least you won't be able to hurt anybody else now. So I guess there's nothing else to do, but this might be our last opportunity. Well, we'd still be using the microbe to trigger the desired results, so...
Which are exceeding...
There's risk. But on the other hand, we wouldn't have to worry about more surprise attacks.
Wiping them out with the microbe is going to be the fastest, most effective, and safe. We don't have to worry about one last generation of very long...
No, the Asylees are the way forward. We deploy them, we're cleaning up the threat using a method and not risking any surprise.
You're being paranoid. You know the science.
I do know the science. I also know math. So I guess we're... Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not... Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. And here we go.
Not the person you're...
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
You want me to... Well, we believe that report to be correct, ma'am. Reginald Orlays appears to have committed the attacks.
Reginald Orlays? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlays might have been involved in the attacks? Only that it would have been preferable if you'd managed to find him before he murdered UC citizens. Now, are you going to answer the question for me or not? Did you already suspect Orlays? Well, it appears you are ahead of the curve. This report contains definitive evidence Orlays triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant the Captain and Major Sanan uncovered.
Simply heroin.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice, it seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could strike again. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. As such, the Cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian.
A sound decision, Madam. Tell the Freestar Collective. Wow. So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
Agreed. Any effort to de-escalate the situation should be considered. Being as open as possible would be a valuable move.
That is an interesting idea. A grand gesture, showing definitively this cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
So, you want us to make nice with the
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound worthwhile, Chief Kulkarni. Very well. We'll get the collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to support the removal of the Terramorphs, and now the heat leeches, from human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to sterilize the Terramorphs and shut off their ability to transform would be effective and humane. Then we can clean them up as needed.
Oh, yeah. All the risks of the microbe and a final generation of Terramorphs still on the prowl. They'll call us heroes, I'm sure.
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the Captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Glad to see someone's not afraid of a little applied genetics. The science division is in full agreement.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive. You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward. Plus, on behalf of the whole of the United Colony, this meeting is adjourned.
We've still got plenty to get through. Captain, I guess we've got our... I could have never guessed where all this was going. But now, knowing what I do, that my past is less of a clue. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. Just glad it was me. You know, I was thinking, while we were there on the podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. But I knew the answer. Because confronting him, what would I gain? Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has... I'm not about to let him control my future. Words... You know I can't do that. But I wouldn't be upset if you came by the HQ every night. Oh, we blew past weird a long... It's been an honor.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
What's this? Just you then? No UC executioner. So the cabinet knows I'll tell you why. Because the UC was, in the last days of the war, the UC was on the precipice of a massive strike, capable of obliterating... I thought I'd had myself, but such invasions are caught. Others in the UC believed the blockade would be sufficient, so instead, they sacrificed. You'd be right. But just before we could launch the strike, I went to the city to assess the state of things. We couldn't spare ships for a proper quarantine, so it was my decision to destroy the spaceport. I had a single ship. What would you have had me do? Ask them and the Terramorphs to form a line? No. I touched down, assessed the situation. 3-star citizenry decided to get involved. Dozens of civilian ships jumping in to shield their military counterparts. I, of course, had no trouble firing on what should have been designated enemy vessels, but my peers had lost the stomach for it. So many lives lost already, they wailed. So they picked our ships apart. The UC surrendered not long after. It's human nature to see patterns, even when there are none. We were in the middle of an all-out war, Captain. Which city would you prefer I'd sacrificed? And if anyone else had learned about the Lazarus plant, well, I weighed the options. Once we'd cracked synthesizing the Lazarus plant's pollen, research that took years in and out, Orlaze's ship would land on our target, bearing a few heat leeches. Nothing that would rate. Then Lazarus pollen was pumped out of the ship during liftoff from the planet's surface. Shortly thereafter, a strike perpetrated in mere moments, with no one. Well, thanks to our combined efforts, the Sanani, I have a long list of names civilized society would be better without. Should we begin the hunt? Or did you have questions? Just making the settled systems a little... Arms dealers, rogue scientists, UC turncoat. I'd be directing you to them, and you'd be making the galaxy better. The UC doesn't consider these threats worthy of action just yet, which is why we'll be dealing with them before they... As far as possible legal repercussions, I'll only be sending you to target. You may have to deal with some mercenaries or other general banditry, but no one's gonna shed a tear if a merchant of death or... You won't be going after anyone that UC might miss. So you needn't fear. Just what I was hoping to hear. There's a Those are the details for our first, person of interest. Find them, eliminate them, and make I'd urge caution. Use whatever means you have.
Authorized personnel only. Your friend has to stay here.
Wow, so this is my first time letting Sanan not telling on him, so I didn't know he had extra missions and stuff, so hey, I might take this the next time. And then I think this playthrough I'm gonna join the pirate side as well, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to record this and show y'all the next like what happens when you side with Victis after the UC mission. So let me collect my penthouse.
Whatever it is, it can't be that.
Luckily, I'm one. I've already gone ahead and processed your class 1, and the credits should be in your accounts now. But
I gotta go to the realty office and
higher ups wanted to make sure you know
so
how
that's
much
it, folks. Let me know what other missions y'all would like to see.
It's time to get
let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, man. Hit that like button, share this, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell so y'all get notifications when I drop new videos. Usually they'll be on the weekend, but I might start dropping some during the week as well. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.
Right? Well, I can provide. Let me just check my logs. Okay. These coordinates should get you to your first targets.